Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Pisces. The sun is in Taurus, giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. We are reading to the right because we're going back to your full moon, extroverted. And so the reading goes to the right for 6 months, and then we have for 6 months a reading to the left, because left is intuitive, is the soul, and right is the human, is that I want to experience in the outside world what it means to unite with my opposite sign. Now here we have Taurus, right, which is an earth sign, and your opposite sign is Virgo. So you do understand that here Taurus is wanting to tell you something because he's a fixed sign. He's like, now we have the roots in the earth and now we can grow out and we can show ourselves. And so he's the number 5 and you're the 18. And the 18 is here with the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, the 5, the Hierophant, and the 3, the Empress. So observe, watch, and see how everything is talking. This is what the numbers does, and the 5 is in your card. And so the spiritual message, you understand the spiritual message. You understand that everything is spinning. You understand that everything has a meaning. Everything talks. And particularly the tarot is a way of communicating, right? The stars, because this is Venus. Here Venus rules Taurus. And Venus is beauty and love and money and etc. All these things, right? And when we understand how Venus is functioning, we understand how everything else is functioning. So then you are ruled by Neptune. Neptune are the dreams and your mind. And so here we have the past lives, because you understand through the deep subconscious that we come here again and again and again. And so sometimes it's quite scary to think about how many times have I really been here, right? And so, of course, each reading hopefully is giving you a little bit more of an insight into what is going on in your life. So this combination right now exists only once a year, but if we include all the other planets, then this combination exists only once in your life. So in Osho Zen Tarot, the Hierophant is nothing, no thing, no thingness is nothing or no thingness. And you can see there is really now deep in the roots the possibility to grow where you want to grow. And when we put them next to each other, we can see, oh wow, there is now something appearing and we can become someone new in the next cycle of life, right? And so for a lot of people, it's quite scary to think about that. But we who actually start researching more and more about how all of this functions, right, for us, this is almost normal. In Osho Zen Tarot, you are the trust. You are the Knight of Cups. Is your birthday between February 8th and March 11th, then this is your court card. You trusting the path of love. You trusting that when you jump, you will be jumping into love, right? It's like we falling in love. Falling in love means really this, right? And so when we fall, it's that we trust that where we're falling into is for the best. You are, as Pisces, the dreamer, and you are also the 12th house of spirituality and art. And so observe how you want to express yourself, how you want to express your love. Back to the last reading where Aries Sun gave the light to Pisces Moon. You're now able to use the peacock's strength to digest all emotions. And there we had, of course, Mars, and for Mars I was using the animal spirit, and the peacock came up, and the peacock is a very powerful animal, right? All these animals that are chosen to be in this deck are powerful in their own right. And so today we're looking at Venus, because the Sun through the Hierophant, through Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, is bringing you the healing, a healing that can bring you the inner wise, the inner healer, the healing, and the person that you in the end want to become. So we're gonna pick a card. There are 306 of them. And we're gonna see what number is coming. 202. And these healing modalities are really powerful because they bring us homeopathy and also Bach flowers, animals, and lots of other beautiful healing modalities. So here we have plants, and this plant is the gentian root, and it's talking about even bitter experiences are important in life. They help us to digest and to find again an appetite and a taste for the new. Just to think about that, you as a pre-joy have water accumulated in your mouth. Wow. So yes, even bitter moments are important because those help us to digest then again also the good stuff in life. And so the 2 is the high priestess, the 0 is the fool, and the 2 again as the high priestess. And I see here in this card something important. The 22 is the fool, which is always the first card that I pick. When the fool is speaking, he's literally saying take that step because he's connected with Uranus. And Uranus is actually taking a new perspective on something that you maybe thought you have understood. Now the 22 that is framing the 0 is the 22. The Fool becomes the 22nd major arcana because it is the 0, but there are 22 major arcana. And so here this is talking about the 2-2 portal is framing the 0, is framing the Fool. And so we are seeing what the Fool is saying, and the Fool is saying the Empress is here. You are now an Empress. When you include Taurus, when you include the spiritual wisdom Taurus brings, because Taurus has the triangle inside of the 5, then you understand that out of nothingness comes something. She is Venus, right? And so Venus speaks to you through the Fool that you have to begin to see that now you are an Empress. And an Empress knows what to do. An Empress has the shield of the eagle. And the eagle is the higher perspective that we need to take if we go into the triangle. Then we are up and see the dualities working and planning and doing and orchestrating life. And the 5, if we turn it around, it looks like the tip of the triangle. And so we understand that something is talking here, because I forgot to show you the yoga position here. For Taurus, I did a movement. I did not sitting here anymore and you know, taking the action and waiting until the information comes down. It's like, I am becoming the movement. And of course, for you, I gave you the fish pose and the upward and the downward facing dog, right? The watcher of the portal, the big portal outside here in this other dimension, in the subconscious. And so we learn to understand now here through this reading that you become an empress, because if I calculate it together we get a 4, and the 4 is the emperor. That was the last reading, Aries Sun. You're now able to use the peacock's strength to digest all emotions. And remember what the plant said? It said even bitter experiences are important in life. They help us to digest and again get the appetite to have new experiences, and actually you already get saliva in your mouth just by thinking about it. So peacock strength is to digest all emotions. So you had last reading already the message coming, and now you get it even again through the Empress, because the Empress is saying, take that step. I am the 3, and here's the 4. That's the 7. That's the emotional intelligence that you need to overcome simply anything. All emotions. We need to digest all emotions. And so the message is very strong, very clear, right at the beginning. Then speaks the magician. The magician is saying, then you become a gatherer. Then you have the world, the 21. The 21 calculated together is a 3. You have a 3-3 portal. And the 1 and the 21 is the 22. And the 22 was speaking here. So learn your lessons. Learn that you can be a gatherer. Learn that you can do what needs to be done to survive here, right? To digest simply all emotions, and then become stronger and wiser through them. And so the 3, right, plus here the 4 is again a 7. And the emotional intelligence is letting you know, here we have the 3 and the 4 is the emotional intelligence. And here we have the 3 and the 4, which is the emotional intelligence. But now if I add the magic, this life is all about magic, then you have 4 times the 2. You understand? So understand the message. Understand that you're learning, because the magician is connected with Mercury, and Mercury is the mind, the language that you are learning more and more, how it functions, how it works, and how everything is communicating. So very clear, there is a strong message coming through, right? And you are the 12th zodiac sign. Remember, right? So there's a 3-3 with the Empress, and then another 3. 3 times the 3. Become powerful in knowing what the 3 means. The 3 means life, new life, right? And so, yeah, you will digest things and learn more and more how everything is functioning, because I wanted to see what is bringing you here, the gatherer, and it's the 3 of Cups. And the 3 of Cups is Mercury in Cancer. And Cancer is the healer. Cancer is the emotional intelligence, the 7, the chariot that brings you out into a higher consciousness. But the card is reversed, and there are 3 women, and there is this animal, half horse, half bird, half fish, and they're dancing here at the spring, and the spring looks like a half moon. Now in reverse, it's not there yet. And so it's almost saying, well, you gotta learn something here, because this is a 3-3, and here the 3 It's like the 3 is following you, and you're the 3 when we calculate it together, and it's the reverse of the 21. So here the 3 of Cups, right? You want to celebrate, but you also need to understand that the gatherer is here to teach you something so that you learn more and more to be independent, to be in the magic. And so the 3 and the 1 can be also 4 here, and then the 3 here, right? So whichever way we calculate together, we get either 3 or 4. And so you learn that the masculine and the feminine, when we unite it, then we really become strong. And so I leave it like this, right? It's the 22nd of March, a date. And you understand, right, that Mercury is bringing you the gatherer, and the gatherer, through the magician, knows how to enjoy, and you will eventually enjoy, right? Right now it's reversed, but eventually you will understand how to turn it around again. Then speaks the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is the inner voice, and that inner voice is bringing you the 6 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius. And so you had Mercury in Cancer, which is of course the love and the emotions that are forming us. And here we have Mercury in Aquarius, and here's the studying and the learning that is forming us. And she's the moon, right? The High Priestess. And so the moon is bringing you deep in your subconscious, keep learning. Keep opening the flower, keep opening the light, and learn what there is to learn, because he's the Lord of the earned success. So the 6 and the 2 is the 8, and the 8 again is that infinite knowledge, the empowerment of the number infinity. And the infinity is something that we have to understand, because the magician always has the infinity in his card. And so here, as an existence, you know what infinity means, right? Then speaks the Empress. The Empress brings you Scorpio, the death card. And he's looking into this card, or actually he's facing this card, but he's looking at you. And the 13 and the 3 is the 16, and the 16 was Aries, Mars, right? And that was the Tower. The Tower is Mars. And you are now able to use the peacock's strength to digest all emotions. And so you're cutting off things, you're cutting off the 5 senses, because here the 13 turns into a 4. The 4 and the 3 again is the 7, the emotional intelligence. Remember, everything leads back to the 7, to Cancer, to the Chariot, to the summer, where the highest point or the longest day in the year is happening. And so you understand now more and more that the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress here, right, is here to teach you to learn to detach yourself, but also to dive in, but at the same time detach yourself. You're 100% in and you're 100% out. I cannot explain it any other way than that, right? It's not 50-50. It's 100% in and it's 100% out. You are totally independent, but you're also totally dependent. And so the 7 is then the emotional intelligence, like I said, and she's the Empress. The Empress came here on the position of the Fool, and the Fool is always that new beginning, and so you're beginning to transform and you're going deeper into your transformation. And this is ruled by Pluto, and guess what? Pluto is going to Aquarius for 20 years. And Aquarius is that moment where we understand that the 20 is the last judgment, and that is Pluto, the planet Pluto. And so the world, the 21, is literally saying we understand now what the 20 means. But the 7 is left. Then speaks Taurus. Taurus, who is bringing you the sun, and says, then you can begin new. And you see this is facing the left, and he is facing the left, and he is walking into the transformation. It's the 0 and the 5, right? So there is only the 5 senses left, even though he cut them all off. The 5 senses are the portals to the inner, but also to the outer world. And so you begin to experience your five senses in a completely new way. Through the sun, through Taurus, you start seeing that something is talking to you here, and that you are learning, and that you can begin new, right? Through the Empress that brought you Scorpio, the death card, the transformation. And she is the creativity, and all creativity is bringing us new perspective, because each human being that's born is unique. There is no such other person than you. You're the only person that is the way you are. Then speaks the Knight of Cups, you that is trusting. And look what's happening here. You have the totality, the Five of Wands, which is connected with Mars in Leo. And Leo is, of course, playing and having fun and enjoying. But you see these three people. Again, the three in the five, right? It's the Hierophant's three inside the triangle. And I did paint the triangle pointing up, right? The action going up, and the information will come. If you take a little step towards the information, it will come. And so the 12 and the 5 is the 17, which is Aquarius, which is the star, which is 0 as well, Uranus. And Uranus, right, is again always that new beginning, and you're learning to know what is important here. And what is important is that you learn to trust the three, that you learn to trust that to be an Empress is to give new life to new ideas, that you give to the Three of Cups the chance to be turned around. And so learn what there is to learn. And that's why the Six of Swords is coming, right? Mercury in Aquarius. And Aquarius is here through the Fool, through Uranus coming at you. And then the 17 is the star. Be a star and trust what you can do, that you can fly, and that you can change everything, that you can change the world by the way you are trusting. And this is the Five of Wands, right? Which is, of course, Saturn. Saturn, we need to have this connection to others, right? We need to have 1, 2, 3 parts that connect, and we need to trust. And the trust is here to actually be in the totality, to be in the now, because the 8 is left of the 17. And the 8, like we said, came here through the High Priestess and the Six of Swords. Learning what there is to learn, because there is still a lot to be learned. And then speaks Pisces. You, right? Your major arcana, the moon, speaks and brings you the 7, the awareness, the emotional intelligence that we talked about. And when we calculate the 18 and the 7, we get the 25. And the 25 is again the 20 that has come in the 21 of the Gatherer. The 20, which is Pluto, right? And we had the Scorpio, which is connected or ruled by a Pluto. And Pluto is bringing you an understanding that now the 25, the 5 of the Hierophant, right, is saying you need to learn that even if there is nothing, you trust. You go into the totality, and then you come and break yourself free. Then you come into the awareness, right? And the 7 is left. The emotional intelligence is left. And it's almost like she's coming through the vagina here, and she is actually seeing now her new life already. You're seeing a new life is coming to you, and you gotta learn to trust that, because this is the subconscious. This is the moon bringing you your own message. The message that you're going to be reborn, that when you go into the totality, you're going to be completely in the awareness. And the awareness is something extremely beautiful. And then speaks the moon. The moon, which I take this card now, right? Because I could also take this card. But the moon is saying then you need to get deep down into the 45. The 4 is the Emperor and the 5 is the Hierophant, and calculated together we get the 9, which is the Hermit. It's your opposite sign. That's where you get your full moon. That's when you are gonna repair the veil. That's when you're gonna be in absolute forgiveness, because when we forgive, we can actually also live again the life that we want to live. But I want to see what you're forgiving here, and it's the Daughter of Wands. And the Daughter of Wands are all 3 fire signs, and they're going into the left, right, into the soul, and it's Aries, it's Leo, and it's Sagittarius. And Leo has come here through the totality, through Saturn in Leo, right, and learning to understand that they are fire signs, that they're taking actions, and that are they going into the Chariot, that they're going to the summer where the emotional intelligence is happening. Here is another 3, right? And so the 9 and the 3 is the 12, and that's you, right? You can trust what is coming here. You can trust what is talking. You can trust that you can be total awareness, and you are going to the left with the fire signs. They can help you, right? Sometimes you as a water sign, you get a little bit emotional, like here the 3 of Cups, maybe you extremely emotional, and something is blocking you to take that plunge. And so you need maybe the young generation to show you, yes, just do it, just jump, right? Because the 12 has come up here. And then the 3 is left. And again, you get a lot of 3s and a lot of 7s. So there is kind of like an interesting talk here through the 3 and the 7. Then the Sun is saying that she is the innocence, that she is showing you what happens when you close here the veil, when you are actually forgive, right? And the 3 is coming again, the East, the beginning. A new beginning can then start. When you close this, it's like, yes, something new can begin. And so the 19 of the Sun plus the 3 is the 22. Then you understand that the 22 has spoken to you here with the Magician and the Gatherer, right? That you are learning. The 22 has spoken here through the healing, right? Through learning that everything has a moment of real significance, and learning that you want to understand more and more how this world functions, right? And how it can be that we live many lives, right? And that we learn more and more. Yes, when we come back, maybe we repair something, right, in this life, so that in the next life it gets better. It's then repaired and it can shine again. So the 22 is literally saying you need to become an empress, because an empress has repaired that. She is the one that fits 3 times in the 9, and 3 times the 3 is the 33, and the 33 is a holy number. It's a very powerful number, right? Particularly in the secret brotherhood, the 33 was the 33 degree, the mastery. When you understand the 33, you have understood many things. And so this is coming. And I wanted to see what is talking here to you, right? Through this portal, through the East. And again, Scorpio is coming. Look at that. To the right, facing to the right, and you see that the skeleton is here. You see the 2 trees are here, forming a V. That is a V like the 5. And so Taurus is bringing you the information that everything comes and goes. We die, we let go. But at the same time, we also understand that the 13 becomes a 4, the 4, and the 22, right, becomes then the 26, and the 26 is again the 8. And the 8 is infinitely, we transform infinitely, we learn infinitely, we come and go. And it's not easy to understand that. And so you learn to be, through this transformation twice, the 13, the 4, 4, that you really transforming, that really something is changing you. And let it change you, because it's important. Otherwise, all these really powerful messages wouldn't come, right? Double numbers for me are always really important. And so the 3, right, plus the 19 was the 22, and the 4 was the 26, and again the 8 is left. The 8, that infinite symbol that is teaching us to arrive, because now the world is saying, then you come into the 4, then you come into understanding that the 4 is the material world, that when I close the reading, she is the 3 and here is the 4. And remember, we had here the 202, right? So we have the 4 here, right? And this became the 7. And now here the 3 and the 4, the 21 calculated together of the world, becomes the 7 as well. So the 7-7 portal is saying that here, Cancer, the Chariot, in the summer, in this full moon, in this month, you're going to learn something powerful. Something is happening here on the 22nd, maybe, of June, because that's where the full moon is of here, then Capricorn, which is, of course, the attachment that we have sometimes, right? But there has not been a 15 here. And you learn to see that the world is square, the world is the number 4, right, is the material, but the 21 and the 4 is the 25, and the 25 is the 7. The 7 and the 7 here with the healing is letting you know everything has a meaning, everything is talking, the portal is open, even if it's broken, even if you repair, right? In the repair, we learn that everything is talking to us, particularly through the sun, right? You got the Fool. The Fool came to you and said, well, have a look. This is really now a new beginning here. And you learn that even the new beginning here, the 9 and the 7 is the 16, and the 7 is left, right? It's in the summer that it's happening. And so you gotta learn to see how everything is talking, how everything is interacting, what's happening up is happening down here. And so the completion is here, the 7-7, plus here the 7, and then we had a few times the 7, right? Just understand that you learn to trust the Empress, because here comes also a 7, right? The 13 and the 3 is 16, and it's the 7. So you learn that something is shifting, something is changing, and the last puzzle piece is coming, and you're going to understand how all of this is functioning, and you can heal. And in that healing, you find, again, new ways of living your life in a very stable way, right? And that stability will be gone again, because everything is coming and going, everything is changing, and nothing stays the same. I hope I see you in the next reading. The next reading, we have the Sun in Gemini, and Gemini is Swords. We have here the 6, that's the Lovers, the 6 of Swords, but this was connected with Mercury in Aquarius. Nevertheless, you're gonna see in the month of Gemini, you will get more information about how everything interconnects. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.